With the first 4 games in the books, the 2020 NBA playoffs should be an interesting one, with multiple teams having a golden opportunity to win it all. In one of the most crazy years of our lifetime, the team with the best of the best, combined with the great plays of the role players and execution down the stretch, will be the last one standing. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Here are my reactions and takeaways from the first day of the 2020 NBA playoffs. Donovan Mitchell's sensational performance in an effort against the Nuggets, a franchise record and most amongst active players, a single game playoff best, 57 points, third highest all time behind Jordan's 63 and Elgin Baylor's 61, absolute legendary company, surpassing Isaiah Thomas' 53 of all current players. Despite his amazing performance, dominating, the 8-second violation proved to be the fatal point of the game in regulation, causing Utah their own demise. No Bogdanovich, no Conley. The All-Star gave us flashbacks of his first round series 2 years ago against the Thunder, proving why he deserves to be mentioned in the superstar conversation. Got to the basket at will, showed off his entire repertoire, the athleticism, hang time, getting his teammates involved. It was an absolute travesty. Mitchell's amazing performance resulted in a loss. 2 of the Jazz starters, Royce O'Neal and Juwan Morgan, combined for 6 points, 2 of 11 shooting in 53 combined minutes. Unacceptable. Mitchell, Gobert, Ingles, and Clarkson combined for 111 points. The rest of the team just 14. Leading after 3 quarters, the brilliance of Jamal Murray was on full display. Knockdown shot after shot in the 4th quarter and overtime. The closer, 36 big points, including 9 assists, 13 of 20 shooting, spectacular, similar to his brilliance in the Spurs series last season and even over a week ago against Utah in the regular season, the double overtime win. Jokic absolutely got the best of Gobert, going off for 29 points, 10 rebounds. Although Rudy had 17 and 7, 4 rejections of his own, couldn't guard Jokic the whole game, mostly got beat by the Serbian. It was the game Utah needed to win badly to have some sort of hope to make it a long series, but with Conley still out, 57 points from the superstar couldn't get it done. It's unlikely Mitchell plays this good again. The execution down the stretch for Murray and Joker effective. The Jazz only had Mitchell playing by himself. After a couple extra possessions in overtime, the Nuggets would build momentum, similar to when LeBron dropped 51 on Golden State. His team had nothing left in the tank in OT after losing a critical lead, being undermatched by a better squad. If Jokic continues to get the better of Gobert, I see the Nuggets build a 2-0 lead. Even if Mitchell drops 30 plus, you couldn't ask for a better offensive game from Ingles and Clarkson. The role players of George Niang, Emmanuel Mudiay, and Morgan desperately needs to step up, especially when Paul Millsap struggled most of the game. Utah shockingly out-rebounded Denver 52-41 and still lost. They'll likely get killed on the boards the rest of the series. Even the Nuggets without Will Barton and Gary Harris, both guys would make things tougher for Mitchell. MPJ wasn't good on D and lost at times. I don't ever see Gobert outplaying Jokic any game of this series. I stick with my predictions as I mentioned in my last video. The Toronto Raptors playing like the true defending champions. In the most lopsided game of the day, it was already over from the start when Toronto surged on to a 10-2 lead right after the ending of the first game. If they play like this consistently, the Raptors have a legit shot to not only get back to the finals, but repeat as champions. Playoff Fred continues to shine after the birth of his son, played like an all-star in the postseason ever since, absolutely went bananas, 30 points, 11 assists, 8 of 10 shooting from 3. Perhaps there's the reason why he got a vote for finals MVP last season, becoming the first Raptor to record a 30-point, 10-assist postseason game. Kyle Lowry got off to a hot start. The chemistry best in the NBA, combined with the championship pedigree, the team simply had no quit in them. Their suffocating defense will make other teams quit. The Caris LeVert-led Nets, by far the least talented playoff team on paper this bubble. Him and Joe Harris absolutely will be fantastic for KD and Kyrie. Brooklyn Nets fans will have to wait for next season. At least the guys are making the most out of their time as stars. For Nick Nurse, a well-balanced typical domination, 7 players in double digits. Serge Ibaka continues to have his best offensive season. Toronto having a 33-point lead in the 2nd quarter. All you needed to know about this game, if the Raptors keep playing like this, they will have plenty of time to rest before their 2nd round series. Sixers Celtics, no surprise here. The process started out hot, kept his team in it, had his moment, 26 and 16, but wasn't enough because the brilliant 21-year-old Jason Tatum, a 32-point, 13-rebound masterpiece, the youngest in franchise history to compile a 30-10 playoff playoff stat line. Him and Jaylen Brown continues to flourish. JB 15 of his 29 in the fourth, connected on timely threes to stop the Sixers' momentum, making a case as a future All-Star. Despite Philly's losing efforts, give credit to the team for the 13-0 run to end the third. They couldn't afford to lose Butler and Harris, so they had to overpay for the 6'7" small forward who went 6 of 15 from the field. So much for the $34 million man not stepping up. It'd be an easy exit if Harris doesn't put up at least 20 points each game going forward. While the Celtics' two best players still on their rookie deals, Philadelphia turned the ball over 18 times, resulting in 21 Boston points, sees only 7 turnovers. If the Sixers want any chance to win the series, Joel Embiid must demand the ball and work down low. The 6'8" Tice and backup Canner has no chance against the superstar big man, needs to attempt at least 20 shots every game, otherwise Brett Brown probably get fired. Al Horford made an impact but almost had as many fouls as points. Without Simmons and his defense, Brown and Tatum will cook all series. Important reps for the promising Matisse Thybulle, having to depend on Josh Richardson, Shea Milton and Alex Burke, not good enough. Hopefully Gordon Hayward's ankle's not too serious and he can return later in the series. The Mavs Clippers, no matter who you were rooting for, the referees were an absolute disgrace. Kristaps Porzingis getting ejected? Are you freaking kidding me? One of the worst calls I have ever seen. All my years watching the NBA, it was almost as bad as Tim Duncan getting ejected while laughing on the bench. Clearly, KP had all ball on Paul George, reacted in emotions. This is playoff basketball. Players are gonna be animated. The fact that the ref blew a whistle, making the wrong call, and they gave a tech to the player who was right that it wasn't a foul, the tech should have been wiped away, even if it was after the technical free throw in a postseason game. Anytime a player reacted because of a wrong call by just punching the air, that tech absolutely should have been taken away. Unacceptable. And the second time, it was actually Marcus Morris with his tactics, tried to frustrate Luka. As you see closely, he held on to him for a few seconds. What was Doncic supposed to do? After they both got heated, Porzingis was just looking out for his teammate. It was Morris who started the shove. Porzingis just touched him back. It was just a touch. What was Porzingis supposed to do there? Flop? Give me a break. It was absolutely nothing. A soft ejection, an absolute travesty amongst all travesties. Porzingis should have been able to finish the game, as far as I can remember, the softest ejection in playoff history. You know it's bad when other players are tweeting about it. I feel terrible for Mavs fans from all over the world. As for the game, Paul George and Kawhi played great. Kudos to Luka's amazing playoff debut, a 42-point masterpiece, the most ever by any player in a postseason debut. After a first quarter ankle scare, Doncic took it right to the Clippers defense, whether it was Kawhi or Reggie Jackson. If he stays healthy long term, no doubt in my mind, Doncic will be the best player in the NBA in 3 years. An absolute stud, the unsung hero for the Clips, Marcus Morris. Not only did he have an impact on the Porzingis ejection, but knocked down a bunch of catch and shoot jumpers, 19 points, 4 steals, played his role to perfection. Montrezl Harrell rusty his first game back in a long time, only 15 minutes. Look for him to get his rhythm back. The two worst players on the court, Maxime Kleber for Dallas, Reggie Jackson for the Clips. After jumping out to an 18-2 lead, LAC got cold, trailed by 14 in the second, got out of sync after their fast start. Usually, Lou and Tress would dominate the second unit with their pick and roll. The Clippers weren't amazing. I give them a B- performance. Pat Bev a below average game. I don't see Dallas winning more than one game this series. The future scores going forward should be very similar to this one. Those were my thoughts and takeaways for the first day of the 2020 NBA playoffs. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.